Most amazing thing about these TWS, it's not their minimally transparent technical design. No, it's not their feature like ANC TWS. It's not their sound. It's how effortlessly they dissolve in your daily schedule despite being so unique. Before starting, tomorrow is the last day for April giveaway. However, in case you missed it, don't worry, the May giveaway will start from 1st of May. Now let's start the review. So these are Nothing Ear 2. I took them on a 6-day journey. Rules were simple. I cannot use anything other than Nothing Ear 2. So I took nothing. I tested them like this on all the days. So I'll keep the timestamps so you can watch according to your needs. I did some interesting experiments in these 6 days, like using transparency mode and roaming in the market, ordering stuff, using only TWS control to control the music and other functionalities. And of course, on day 4, torturing myself with extra bass presets. We'll discuss on day 4. By the way, you can share and import EQ on these TWS. I will share an interesting EQ with all of you at the end of the video, so stay tuned. So let's start with day 1 and 2. I'll refer to my notes here. So I started Nothing Ear 2 on day 1 around 4:44 am. So the battery was 100 and ANC was on adaptive mode. So I was listening to some classic hip hop on balanced EQ. I was enjoying it, and then I realized I have a lot of time before the flight. So I started experimenting. For experiment 1, I turned on transparency and went on to order some overpriced water from the airport. Everything was natural. I was able to hear everything. They were able to hear me, and I was able to converse everything very naturally. Then I turned on ANC. I was able to hear people around me. It reduced a lot of noise. However, I was still able to hear the people around me. So I turned on music, kept the ANC on, and now the music drowned the rest of the voices, and it was a very pleasant experience. I turned it off around 40 minutes and then window shopped some overpriced food again at the airport before starting the next testing. And in flight, naturally, I kept the ANC on and started listening to my standard playlist. We'll talk about sound on day 3 to 5. So in the plane, ANC worked well. The low rumbles were gone. However, there was a child crying. I was able to hear that. No surprise, no TWS can drown that noise. Air hostess announcement was audible at certain frequencies. I did thorough testing of ANC at multiple stages for these. Nothing has done stupendous job on ANC. However, they are not as good as Apple AirPods, Sony, as some people are comparing. That is not because of the ANC in them. That is because of the passive noise isolation that these have. These have not a very good passive noise isolation. And because of that, even though ANC is doing very good, you're still able to hear a lot of sounds because of that bad passive noise isolation. The design is very comfortable. You can wear it whole day, you'll not even realize it. However, as I said, passive noise isolation, it was not very good. It did not block a lot of noise around the surroundings, at least not for my ear. It can be a little subjective for shape and size ear per se. However, it did not work very well for me at least. I kept this comprehensive testing on day 2 as well with ANC and balanced EQ sounding. I was very impressed with these TWS till now. Till this moment, I did not see any graph. However, I was pretty sure they sounded very harmonious. Though I had some reservation in sound which I validated on day 4 and 5. I will discuss that. Overall, day 1 and 2 ended with the battery of around 80% and I was impressed with these things. Now on to day 3, I started with 70% of the battery and the agenda was simple. Test the hell out of transparency. Since I had a huge itinerary for that day, I did put them on, turned on transparency, and for the whole day I was rocking them. I was talking to people wearing them. I was roaming in the market wearing them. I ordered everything wearing them. I enjoyed the whole day wearing them. I was able to talk to the people naturally. I enjoyed some amazing waterfalls, snowfall, and I roamed around the market. And you know what? It's a very good transparency. At no point I had issue perceiving my surroundings. So there are some things that I did not like. That is, there is white noise in the transparency mode. However, you quickly adapt once you start using it. So in like 15-20 minutes, you'll not even notice that it's there. However, it's there. In addition to that, your sound is a little louder in your head. So whenever you're using the transparency mode, your voice is not natural. And A little bit of robotic component is there as well in the transparency. Lastly, not a con but observation, if someone is walking in front of you, you will hear the footstep naturally for about 10 feet and then the sound will start browning out a little. Overall, a very solid transparency mode. I ended the day with 60% of the battery. Now let's move on to day 4 and 5, my favorite days there, because I started testing the sound. I started with the 60% battery. So the agenda for day 4 was simple. Enjoy the beauty of the mountain, enjoy some music, and at the same time use only TWS controls. For controls, I will not explain much. They are simple and works 80% of the time. It gets confused a bit in pinch and hold controls. Other than that, it works flawlessly. Now about the sound, I'll refer some notes here. So I started the day with some YouTube. I was watching videos and I was like, what is this that I'm hearing? Did I get some tinnitus? What is that? Later I realized that I was on extra bass preset. By the way, by default, it comes in extra bass, so you need to change it. So while it increases the bass, it increases the overall noise in the audio. It's done distastefully, if that's a word. I used extra bass preset on music as well. It sucked. Not a very tasteful bass. It's like a boost that we did as a child, cranking the bass knob to the fullest. However, after that I moved to balanced EQ and the whole day went smoothly. So let's talk about sound quality a bit. On day 4, 5 and 6, sound test was my priority. Well, I was impressed with the sound quality. I got these for 7,500 rupees, that is less than $100. And they sound good for that. Let me clear the doubt, they do not sound the best. That crown is still with Samsung and Sennheiser, but they sound good. For tuning, they are very much Harman style tuned. So what I liked about the sound? Number 1, the bass representation. I love the bass representation of it. It's not overpowering, it's not less, it's a very apt amount of bass. The mid bass thump is good with that sub bass rumble as well. So overall a good bass representation. Most importantly, it does not bleed in the mids. Mids are good for these TWS as well. I found them separated and clean. They have a slight warmth in the mids as well for an enjoyable listening experience. Overall, mids are well separated, slightly warm, however a little bit thin on the lower mid side. Overall, I think a very solid mid performance from these TWS, well separated, well tuned. I liked it. The other two things I really liked about these TWS is the soundstage and detail and imaging. There were some reviews where they said soundstage is not very good, so I was a little skeptical. However, when I tested, it is good. If you listen to the song High Fashion, at a slight distance there are some drum snares that sounds like a doorknob, so you're very well able to understand their imaging, their distance, and you're able to perceive that. I think that was a very good job done by Nothing TWS there. And overall detail retrieval is good as well. I did not find them faltering on any detail retrieval. While it is not going to give you detail retrieval like Moondrop Blessing 3, however, it is a very good detail retrieval for a TWS at this price range. Now the part that I did not like, that is treble. It is not very good. At first I was a little skeptical, so I listened to a lot of treble rich songs, and snares, cymbals, etc. did not sound very good. It always came like a paper like feeling. So whenever someone is doing that treble range drumming, those snares, etc., they have a plasticky feeling with them. So the timbre overall is not up to the mark for me. In vocals you'll not be able to pinpoint it like immediately. However, in instruments it's very much there. Now there are multiple presets as well that are provided with these TWS. None of them are good. Pretty much anything except balance is not usable. Extra bass preset is horrendous of all. Voice is bloated, sounds like someone is talking into a pipe, and it bleeds everywhere. So for sound quality, overall a very good experience. However, I do not suggest using any preset other than balanced EQ. That's the only usable and very good preset. I would not say usable, it's a very good preset. DMS has done a good job tuning there. Now we moved on to the last day with 20% battery left. Day 6 was all about survival. I used it normally, no battery saving. I used all ANC, transparency, etc. everything. Sound quality, preset, EQ, you name it. I tried everything. And at the end of day 6, it's finally dead. I think around 10:30 in the night, it was dead. These TWS supported my trip like a charm. It was a real life usage that you saw in this video. Nothing was exaggerated. I did not use them for 10 hours straight just to check the battery life, etc. I use them whenever, wherever they are required. And it is exactly how you would have used it. Fun fact, even after the battery was dead, The left one was working for 5-10 another minute, so I think it's a good addition to wrap up your last call. I can vouch for these TWS for anyone. If you want an all-round TWS, it is absolutely good. The best thing I loved about Nothing is how reliable they are. At one point, I dropped them from 6 feet. The case is still intact, it's still working, no hinge problem, nothing. It's still working. Battery went strong, sound was good, features were fantastic. Overall, the app is minimal, very well done. I think these have been fantastic TWS. I would recommend them to anyone. It's a beautiful package that you get for a reasonable price. However, if you're planning to buy them, I would say hold. Nothing has launched Nothing Ear A and Nothing Ear. Well, I'm already testing them for about a week or so you can expect the review in May. Well, this was it for my experience. I think I left the gaming part. Do let me know if you want me to cover it. If I left anything else, let me know. I'll help you in the comments. Do share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and I'll see you on the next one. So guys, if you're using Nothing Ear 2, scan this QR code into your equalizer section and you can make your Nothing Ear 2 sounds like Mega Fest, that is a $600 IEM. This EQ is made by DMS only, who tuned Nothing Ear 2 itself. So enjoy.